2 weeks. That's how long I got to pretend I was someone's forever. 14 days of bliss before everything exploded like a Molotov cocktail in my chest. I didn't see it coming. That's what hurts the most. When you marry someone, you don't just give them your hand. You give them your trust, your soul, your damn spine. And my wife, Eliza, shattered every piece of it behind my back, with her ex-boyfriend, no less. But let me backtrack. Our wedding was beautiful, painfully beautiful, even in hindsight. An intimate cliffside ceremony in Big Sur. Just family and our closest friends. Eliza looked like she stepped out of a fairy tale, lace sleeves, soft curls, this nervous smile she wore like a badge of honor. I loved her. God, I loved her so stupidly much. I still remember how she gripped my hand during our vows, how her voice cracked when she said, "I promise I'll always choose you." That line replays in my head like a sick joke now. After the wedding, we spent our honeymoon in Maui. Beach walks, room service, the works. She kept clinging to me like she was afraid I'd disappear. Turns out, she was the one already halfway gone. We got back home, started unpacking our gifts, thank you notes, settling in. I noticed she started texting more. Not suspiciously at first, just distracted. But who isn't, right? We had a lot to organize, new place, joint accounts, changing her last name. Then, it happened. 2 weeks after we tied the knot, exactly 14 days into our marriage, she told me she was going to visit her mom in San Diego. Said her mom was having a rough time with her new meds and needed support. I trusted her. Of course I did. What kind of husband doesn't? She was gone 3 days. When she got back, she seemed lighter, almost euphoric, like she just stepped out of a spa retreat instead of an emotionally draining visit to a sick parent. What gave her away wasn't anything big. It was stupid, actually. Her perfume. She wore Chanel Chance. Always had. But when I hugged her at the airport, she didn't smell like Chance. She smelled like him. You know how sin is tied to memory? Yeah, one whiff. And I was back in sophomore year of college, standing in the hallway of Eliza's old apartment, shaking hands with the guy she used to date but were still friends with. Marcus. 6'2" personal trainer, charming as hell, the kind of guy who always stood just a bit too close to her. The guy I asked her about 3 months before our wedding, when I saw his name pop up on her Venmo with a fire emoji. She said he was just helping her fix her macros. I didn't press it. That's on me. When I asked how her mom was doing, she blinked twice too fast. Told me her mom had already gone to sleep when she got there, and they just hung out. My gut twisted. The next day, she was on her laptop most of the morning. I kissed her cheek and went to the gym. But I couldn't shake the feeling. I'm not a jealous guy of hell. I've been cheated on before. But this felt different. This felt deliberate. I started snooping. Not proud of it. But sometimes your instincts whisper too loud to ignore. I checked her iPad, synced her iMessages. I almost threw up. There it was. Messages from Marcus. Hundreds of them. Long ones. Dirty ones. Emotional ones. There was one picture that made me physically recoil. The two of them in a hotel bed, her hand on his chest, wearing nothing but a smile. Timestamp 2:38 a.m. Saturday. She had told me she was watching Downton Abbey with her mom. I confronted her that night. No screaming. No drama. Just held up the iPad and asked, "Is this what you meant when you said you'd always choose me?" Her face drained like I'd pulled the plug on her soul. She didn't deny it. Didn't cry. Just sat down slowly on the arm of the couch and muttered, "It was a mistake." No. A mistake is spilling coffee. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. She planned this. She texted him weeks before the wedding. She even changed her birth control prescription a few days before the trip. I only found that out later. She begged me not to leave. Told me it was a moment of weakness and closure. Closure. That's what she called it. I packed a bag that night and went to stay with my buddy Josh. He didn't ask questions. Just tossed me a beer and said, "Whatever it is, she's not worth your peace." But that wasn't the end. 3 months passed. I filed for annulment. She begged me not to. Her mom called me, crying. Said Eliza had been confused. Her best friend, who stood beside her at the altar, even texted me saying she was falling apart. I didn't answer. But then, out of nowhere, I got a text from Eliza. "Please meet me at the airport. I need to see you. I promise it's not what you think." I almost ignored it. But something in me, maybe anger, maybe curiosity, drove me there. She was flying back in from visiting family. I saw her before she saw me. Standing there at baggage claim, clutching her coat, scanning the crowd with that same nervous smile she wore at our wedding. When she spotted me, her eyes lit up, like nothing had happened. She walked up slowly, cautiously, as if afraid I'd vanish if she moved too fast. "Hey," she said. I said nothing. "I know I messed up. I know I hurt you in ways I'll never forgive myself for. But I'm still in love with you. And if there's even a sliver of a chance—" I cut her off. What I said next. That's the moment that shattered her. She stood there waiting, hopeful, red-eyed, fidgeting with her sleeve like a teenager caught sneaking in past curfew. But I wasn't there to soothe her. I wasn't there for closure. I was there for a clean break, one that would echo for the rest of her life. She said, "If there's even a sliver of a chance." I cut her off, my voice level but loud enough for nearby passengers to turn and look. "There's not." She blinked. I could see the breath hitch in her chest like I'd sucker-punched her without lifting a finger. "I didn't come here to hear excuses, Eliza," I said. "I came here to give you what you clearly wanted back in San Diego, a proper goodbye." Her eyes started watering. "You don't mean that." I stepped in close. Not threatening, just enough for her to hear every word over the buzz of baggage wheels and tired announcements. "I gave you everything," I said. "My loyalty, my name, my future. And you traded that for a sweaty weekend with your ex in a hotel I paid for." She flinched. "That trip to see your mom?" I continued. I checked. She was in Palm Springs all weekend at a wine retreat. Funny, right? The woman you lied about to cover your tracks wasn't even in the city. She started crying, hands shaking. "I didn't know what I was doing," she whispered. I pulled my phone out and opened the gallery. One tap and up came the picture of her and Marcus. Then another. Then the messages. "You didn't know what you were doing? You told him you missed the taste of his lips. You called him your real home. You said you wished you hadn't gotten married." Ring any bells? People around us had definitely started tuning in. A kid holding his mom's hand was staring wide-eyed. The mom gently guided him away, throwing Eliza a half-pity, half-judgmental glance. "You're humiliating me," Eliza hissed, trying to keep her voice down. I laughed. "No, Eliza. You humiliated yourself the moment you made vows to me with someone else already in your DMs." She tried to grab my arm, but I stepped back. "You think I haven't been tempted to forgive you? You think I haven't read your texts at 2 a.m. wondering if maybe, just maybe, this was salvageable?" Her face softened. Hope flickered in her eyes again. "Don't," I said, holding up a hand. "Because every time I wondered if we could fix this, I remembered what you did. I remembered the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting. You chose him. You didn't fall into his bed. You sprinted." She wiped her face with her sleeve. "I was scared," she said. "I didn't think I deserved a love like yours." You were right. That broke her. She gasped, like she'd been punched in the stomach, and sat down on one of those hard airport benches, sobbing. And for the first time in months, I felt nothing. Not rage. Not sadness. Not regret. Just peace. I turned to leave, but stopped. "I hope you get help, Eliza," I said. "Not for me. For the next poor guy you decide to promise forever to." I walked away. But the story wasn't over. 2 days later, I got an email. Not from her, from Marcus. Subject line: "I didn't know, man." Turns out, Marcus hadn't known she was married. Not at first. He thought she was still engaged and on a break. He sent screenshots of her telling him she had cold feet before the wedding, that she wasn't sure she'd go through with it. The messages told a very different story from the one she gave me. She was planning to cheat before we even exchanged vows. But it gets worse. Marcus told me something I wasn't ready to hear. She told me she might be pregnant, that it was probably mine. She said she'd figure it out, that she'd handle it quietly. My heart dropped into my stomach, because 2 weeks before, Eliza texted me out of nowhere. "Can we talk? I have something important to tell you." I didn't respond. Now I knew what that something was. She might have been carrying someone else's child and was planning to pass it off as mine. I didn't want to go to her parents' house. Hell, I didn't even want to see their last name pop up in my life ever again. But if there was any chance she was pregnant with his child and planning to pawn it off as mine, I needed confirmation. I needed to know just how deep her betrayal went. I didn't go unprepared. I printed the emails from Marcus, the text messages, the photos. I even brought the wedding program from our ceremony, the one with our vows in it, to drive the knife of irony in just a little deeper, if needed. When I pulled up to her parents' 2-story colonial in Pasadena, her dad was mowing the lawn. Shirtless. Always had a beer gut and a bigger opinion than anyone asked for. He looked up, squinting like I'd just risen from the dead. "Well, look what the dog dragged in," he said. "Eliza home?" I asked. He shut the mower off. Inside. You here to fight or forgive? I didn't answer. Just walked past him and knocked. Eliza's mom opened the door. The look on her face was something between pity and panic. Tyler, she whispered, stepping aside. I walked in and saw Eliza on the couch, knees up to her chest, wearing one of my old hoodies. The audacity. She jumped to her feet when she saw me. I didn't expect you to come, she said. I need answers. She nodded slowly, then motioned to the kitchen. Let's talk in private. I followed her in. Sat down. Dropped the printed emails and screenshots on the table like a deck of poison playing cards. Start talking. Her hands shook as she skimmed the pages. When she got to the part where Marcus said she told him she might be pregnant, she broke. I wasn't sure, she said. I missed my period. I panicked. I thought, maybe it was his. But I didn't even take a test yet. Were you going to tell me? She didn't answer. Eliza. Her lip quivered. I was thinking about it. I was scared. I knew if I told you, that would be it. And I didn't want to lose you. I leaned forward, fire in my throat. You lost me the moment you climbed into his bed. She looked away. And you were going to let me raise a child that wasn't mine? I didn't know for sure. And it's not like I planned it. I thought I could fix it. Fix it. I laughed bitterly. How do you fix that, Eliza? Were you going to fake a paternity test? Wait until the kid looked nothing like me and pray I was too dumb to notice. Tears streamed down her face now. Her mother stood quietly in the doorway, arms crossed, not saying a word. I stood up. Take the test. Today. If you're not pregnant, then at least I know I dodged one more bullet. If you are, and it's his, then you're going to have to tell him. Because I'm done playing the backup husband in your soap opera. Eliza nodded, barely able to speak. I'll go now, I said. But you're going to call me when you know. And I swear to God, if you try to lie one more time, I'll bury you in court. That night, I didn't sleep. I watched the phone like it was a bomb. At 10:13 a.m. the next morning, I got the text. I took the test. It's negative. I'm not pregnant. I felt a relief I didn't expect. But it was cold. Numb. Like I'd avoided a head-on collision but still felt the whiplash in my bones. And just when I thought I could start breathing again, a new twist showed up. 2 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. Certified. Legal. From a law firm. I thought it was divorce paperwork. Nope. Eliza was contesting the annulment. It's funny, you never really know someone until you're standing on opposite sides of a courtroom. Eliza didn't contest the annulment because she wanted me. She contested it because she wanted what came with being my wife. Half the assets. Alimony. A piece of the life she torched. I remember sitting on my couch, holding the letter with shaking hands. The words blurred together. Petitioner disputes the grounds for annulment. Claims marriage was entered in good faith. Good faith? This woman cheated on me 2 weeks after our vows and told another man she wished she'd never gotten married. That's good faith? I handed the letter to my attorney, Caleb, a bulldog in a suit with a handshake like a bear trap. He read it, then looked up slowly. She's playing the long game, he said. If she can get this annulment tossed, she opens the door for divorce proceedings, and that's when she can come for assets, spousal support, maybe even your business. She was only in my life for a month. I snapped. What could she possibly be entitled to? Caleb shrugged. Doesn't matter. It's not about what's fair. It's about what she can argue. And argue she did. In her official filing, she painted a picture of a marriage on shaky ground from the start. She claimed I was emotionally distant, that I refused physical intimacy, and that she felt neglected and unloved. I wanted to throw something. This was the same woman who told Marcus I was too clingy and smothering. I had receipts. Literal, time-stamped receipts. Caleb told me to breathe. She's hoping you'll fold. Give her a settlement just to make her go away. She has no case, I argued. No, but she has drama, Caleb replied. And that plays better than truth in family court. So we built our case. I handed over everything, messages, photos, emails, screenshots. Caleb's paralegal nearly wept when she saw how well organized my digital folder was. You'd make a hell of a private investigator, she told me. Eliza's lawyer, meanwhile, went full scorched earth. They claimed I tracked her location without consent. I didn't. She left her iPad synced to her iMessages. They said I verbally abused her, zero proof. They even said I was obsessed with control, citing the fact that I monitored her spending. You know what they were referring to? A shared budgeting app we both agreed to download after our wedding planner suggested it. But that's how these things work. Take a truth, twist it, weaponize it. The first court date arrived, And I'll never forget the look on Eliza's face when she saw me walk in calm, focused, and dressed like someone who wasn't about to get steamrolled. She looked nervous, like a liar walking into a polygraph session. We didn't speak. Her lawyer did all the posturing. Mine did the actual work. Caleb hit them with everything. Exhibit after exhibit. Timeline. Receipts. A sworn statement from Marcus confirming she hid her marriage. Even a hotel reservation under her name, booked before the wedding. The judge leaned back and said, "This is highly unusual for a marriage of such short duration." Eliza's lawyer said she was emotionally manipulated into the affair. Caleb slid a copy of her text across the table. "Your Honor," he said, "I'd argue this woman wasn't manipulated. She was multitasking." The courtroom snickered. Eliza turned red. We didn't get a final ruling that day. Family court moved slow. But it was clear the judge wasn't buying her act. Eliza texted me that night. "I didn't want this to get ugly. Why are you doing this?" I stared at the message for 10 minutes, then replied, "Because you tried to burn me down and keep the ashes." She didn't respond. 2 weeks later, she tried to call me. I didn't answer. Then, the next week, she showed up at my work. It was a Thursday, just another normal day at the office. I was grabbing a second coffee when I saw the receptionist's eyes go wide. "Tyler, someone's here to see you." I turned the corner, and there she was. Eliza, dressed down in jeans and a cardigan, no makeup, holding her purse like it was a lifeline. "I just want to talk," she said, eyes flicking around nervously. I should have turned her away. But curiosity's a hell of a drug. We stepped outside. She looked at me like I was a stranger she once knew in a dream. "I'm not here to fight," she said quickly. "I'm not here for money. I'm not even here to stop the annulment." I folded my arms. "Then what?" She reached into her purse. My heart actually skipped. She pulled out a pregnancy test. Positive. She handed me a folded sheet of paper, a blood test confirmation from a clinic, dated 2 days prior. "I'm pregnant," she whispered. I stared at the paper. My brain refused to process it. For a full minute, I just stood there, hearing the wind and the cars and nothing else. "Eliza." She stepped forward. "I didn't know how to tell you. I was going to wait until court was over, but I couldn't. I needed you to know. You said you weren't pregnant. I thought I wasn't. But I was wrong. I took another test, then went to the doctor. 'Tyler, it's yours.' And right there, I saw it, the trap. She knew our case was sinking. She knew I had everything on her. But if the baby was mine, if there was a chance she could stall the annulment, trigger new rights, possibly even force me into a drawn-out custody and support battle. It was her last card, a biological hostage. But I'd come prepared for war. I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out my phone. Opened an audio file. Hit play. It was a recording. Her voice. Marcus's voice. Clear as day. "Eliza, if I am pregnant, don't worry. I'll say it's Tyler's. He's too proud to ask questions." "Marcus, you sure he won't figure it out?" Eliza laughs. "He's not that kind of guy. He'll do the right thing. He always does." Her face drained. She staggered back a step like the sidewalk tilted under her feet. "I recorded that 2 months ago," I said. "Marcus sent it to me after you tried to screw me in court. Guess you two weren't as discreet as you thought." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I stepped closer, keeping my voice steady and cold. "You wanted me to be the father. Not because you love me, but because you think I'm safe. You think I'll pay for your mistake." I was scared, she finally choked out. "I didn't know what to do." "Oh, you knew exactly what to do," I snapped. "Lie. Manipulate. Weaponize motherhood like it's some kind of get-out-of-jail-free card." Her eyes welled. "Tyler, I don't want to do this alone." "You're not alone," I said. "You've got Marcus, remember? You told him he was your real home. Build your white picket fence with him." I turned to leave. She called after me. "Tyler, please, don't do this." I stopped at the edge of the lot and turned. "You're right," I said. "I'm not the kind of guy who walks away from his kid." For a moment, her face lit up. "But I am the kind of guy who gets a court-ordered paternity test. First thing." She collapsed onto the bench near the building, sobbing. 2 weeks later, the test came back. The baby wasn't mine. I forwarded the results to her inbox with 2 words. Case closed. We finalized the annulment the next month. No assets. No support. No contact. I moved cities. Took a new job. Changed my number. Eliza? Last I heard, she tried to contact Marcus again, but he ghosted her. Hard. She tried messaging my friends. Tried writing letters. I never responded. But every now and then, I check her social media. Just to see. And every time I do, she's still single. Still posting selfies. Still chasing attention. She'll probably never admit what she did. Not fully. That's fine. Because I got my closure. Not in some dramatic kiss at an airport. Not in some last-minute reconciliation. But in the silence that followed the truth. And the best revenge is a life rebuilt without her. It's been 1,168 days since I saw her. Since she walked into my office with that test, that desperate little smile, and tried to use biology to buy back the trust she burned ash. People always ask if time heals. No. Time doesn't heal. You do. Time just gives you space to do the surgery. And I needed every second. The annulment finalized just after my 30th birthday. Best gift I've ever given myself. I left LA 6 weeks later. Moved up to Washington State, near the Sound. Got a loft. Took a job that paid less but gave me my peace back. I started hiking, cooking, breathing. At first, I kept expecting the trauma to sneak up on me again. I'd wake up at 2 a.m. drenched in sweat, replaying the audio from that airport confrontation. Her voice would echo in my head for days. But slowly, it stopped. Her voice got quieter. My own got louder. I started dating again. Carefully, cautiously. The first woman I met was kind, but I wasn't ready. The second one was exciting, but I could feel myself building walls mid-conversation. I wasn't ready for intimacy, for trust, for the terrifying, wonderful, unbearable risk of hope. But eventually, I met someone who didn't flinch when I told her the truth, who didn't look at me like I was damaged, but like I was someone worth choosing. Her name is June. She's a teacher, reads too many mystery novels, puts cinnamon in her coffee and sings off-key in the car. The first time she met my dog, she sat on the floor with him for 10 minutes before saying hi to me. We're not rushing anything. But I'll tell you this, I never check her phone. Not because I trust blindly, but because she's never made me feel like I have to. That's a big deal, after what I went through. As for Eliza, I haven't heard a word since the test results hit her inbox. One mutual friend, now barely an acquaintance, said she tried to spin it all. Claimed I was the controlling one. That I was cold. That I abandoned her when she needed me most. Let her talk. The people who matter know the truth. And the ones who don't? I don't owe them oxygen. She works some corporate job in Santa Ana now. Still posts filtered selfies. Still follows inspirational accounts about finding the one. But here's the thing she doesn't get. You don't find the one. You become someone worth finding. And the real victory? It's not that she lost me. It's that I found myself again and refused to give her the second chance she never earned.